The story I'm about to tell you is going to sound crazy, but everything that I'm about to share with you actually happened. Like they say in the movies, it's based on a true story. Hi, my name is Gerard Adams. I was born in 1984 and I was named after St. Gerard. I grew up in New Jersey with two beautiful sisters in a modest home with two very hardworking parents.
That's my dad, Bob. His family originates in Italy. For most of his career, he worked at Prudential. That's how I first learned about business and the stock market.
Growing up, my father would always leave notes for me in random places. These notes would have quotes of leaders. And I didn't really understand why he was leaving them for me as I was growing up. But I guess it was because he was trying to get me to understand what it means to be a leader.
This is my mom. She was born in Colombia and also has Ecuadorian in her. Since I can remember, she worked 6 days a week as a front-end manager of a supermarket. She did whatever she could to make sure my sisters and I had everything we needed. My parents were both strict, though I always found ways to get in trouble. In school, I was always cutting class and just barely scraping by.
During my freshman year of high school, I started selling Mark Echo t-shirts. That turned into fake IDs, and then that turned into hustling weed for a gang. It was easy money for me, and I remember for the first time I felt like I was good at something.
But deep down inside, I knew I was going down the wrong path. In fact, I almost ended up getting caught. My father found out, and that really made me think about my life. I knew I had a gift, but the system kept reminding me that I wasn't good enough and that I didn't meet its standards. I could hardly pass my classes. I never was book smart, but I was street smart. From an early age, I did what it took to find my own way.
I'll never forget that last semester in high school, all my friends sharing how they got into top universities. And when it was my turn to share, I had nothing to say. I still had no clue what I was gonna do. I'll never forget that day. I felt so left out and embarrassed.
I ended up getting accepted to Caldwell College, also known as Last Chance College. It was the first time that I realized that no one was going to be there for me. I was alone in this school with no one to really lean on. All my childhood friends were on the right path, following in the footsteps of the system, and I was alone, trying to figure out what the hell I was going to do with my life. This taught me a big lesson. There are no handouts in life. If you want something, you've got to earn it. College felt like a big business to me. I had to take a bunch of classes to earn a certain amount of credits in order to take the business classes I actually wanted to take.
I quickly realized that I didn't fit into the system. I wanted the freedom to learn what I wanted, when I wanted. I remember the day I found my first mentor. He inspired me to drop out of college during finals of my first semester to go all in on entrepreneurship. It was a scary moment, and I remember saying to myself that I would never go back to school. I walked out that day with a huge chip on my shoulder. I was out to prove everybody wrong, or every single person that I can remember right. I didn't know what I was gonna do, but I knew that I wanted to learn about business, making money on the internet, and the stock market. I was determined. I was working 18-hour days with no pay for my mentor to learn anything and everything from him. By the time I was 20, I learned the entire business. I finally had just enough earnings to launch my first website, stockspot.com.
You originally founded StockSpot, which was worth $10 million in 2008 before the stock market crashed.
It was a website where stock traders could suggest picks, and a ranking system would rank them based on their results. At the age of 24, I turned my passion into my first 8-figure business. I was on top, traveling the world, buying exotic cars, renting out yachts on every beach you can imagine. I was unstoppable. Yet, deep down, there was something that still didn't feel quite right. This led me to the next chapter of my life.
The stock market is now down 21%.
Because we're now down 43%.
Yep, you guessed it. My portfolio tanked and everything I worked so hard for was gone. I felt like a failure, and the worst part was that my friends who were finally graduating from college were coming back to me hoping I could give them a job. I felt like such a disappointment. I didn't know who to talk to, so I visited my mom that day. She told me a tragic story about the day her family's home, which was a one-bedroom apartment, burned down when she was 16 years old. She stood in front of me with tears running down her eyes, and she said, "Gerard, you can have the world take away all of your possessions, but they'll never take away your mind and your heart. So get out there and do it again."
With whatever money I had left, we turned my apartment into my office. And with two 19-year-old interns, we had the idea to start a publication that was for millennials by millennials. And that night on GoDaddy, I bought the domain name EliteDaily.com for $9.99.
When the Great Recession hit, he lost it all, everything. But he did not sit in a corner and cry about it. He checked his ego, put his head down, and shifted back into raw hustle mode.
Over the course of the next 4 years, we turned that idea into the largest millennial publication in the world, gaining an average of 80 million unique monthly readers. We even won an Emmy. Our small 3-man team turned into 200 employees, became my second 8-figure business by 30 years old, and eventually got bought out by $1 billion media company, the Daily Mail. Our lives changed, and I pretty much was set for life. I could have retired in Miami like the accountant suggested, but I knew I was meant for more. It was 2015, I had just turned 30, and I started studying the social media landscape. The idea of starting a personal brand online started brewing. Before this, I had never even used Facebook. I wasn't the type to be posting my whereabouts for the world to see. But I noticed one main thing that really bothered me. There were a lot of fake wantrepreneurs on social media taking advantage of people that actually wanted to learn about business. That's when I took it upon myself to solve this problem and open up my first Instagram profile with a mission not to just build a personal brand, but a leadership brand to educate millennials that had aspirations to become truly successful entrepreneurs. I wanted to inspire and be the big brother for them that I never had.
Little did I know that personal brands were on track to become the new modern-day publications. The idea of a personal brand having the same potential to reach millions of users every day was exciting. I knew that if I wanted to do this right, I was going to need the right team. And just like clockwork, I met Jeff.
Digital Jeff.
He was also a documentarian, filming his first ever feature documentary, and he decided to feature me.
Hey, thanks so much, man.
Yeah, man,
This guy is amazing, man. Quick, cool story. Gerard here actually is, his family, his grandparents are actually from Brownsville, Texas. Brownsville is a hop away. I come to New York City and I find somebody like I feel like family now.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Thanks for everything, man. I appreciate it. Feeling inspired.
Digital Jeff.
Meeting him for the first time, I quickly knew we were meant to meet. Over the next few weeks, we discussed ideas, visions, our missions, and from there I hired Jeff to create my very first show, Leaders Create Leaders. We produced everything ourselves and launched it for free on social media. We started traveling together to different parts of the world, filming stories of leaders, their impact, and the multi-million-dollar movements they created. Little by little, our show became more than just a YouTube show. Our community grew beyond borders, reaching all parts of the world. It became its own movement.
Leaders create leaders, let's go!
Over the last 4 years and 5 seasons of the show, I've been able to interview some of the most influential leaders in our world and share their stories with people who would have never had access to them otherwise. So I invite you to continue on this journey with me as we uncover the stories of today's modern day leaders around the world, how they're building their movements and pushing humanity forward. And always remember, Leaders Create Leaders is more than just a show. It's a movement.